black box testing yet, sir.
Black box testing?
You haven't told, sir.
What we are learning is black box testing only, right?
Sir, I have not taken that definition. That is different.
See, what is black box testing? System testing and acceptance testing is called black box testing. I said system testing is broadly classified into functional testing and non-functional testing. We learned about functional testing types and non-functional testing types. Only the definition not given. What is black box testing? Not given? Okay, further.
Not given, sir.
Okay, I'll give only system testing and acceptance testing, nothing but black box testing. I'll give you, don't worry. Take it performance testing. Performance testing. Listen. Yesterday, lastly, we learned about load testing. When 1,000 people are trying to log in the application, how much amount of time application taking to respond? First of all, the login functionality working or not? If working, how speedily the application responding need to be measured. Always performance testing, we measure the performance of the application under various load conditions. What is the meaning of performance actually in system point of view? In software application point of view, performance meaning? We enter some URL and click go button. The application will take some amount of time to load the page. The page load time we have to measure. We enter a username, password and click submit button. Again, the application will take some amount of time to process the login transaction. The time taken by the application to process a request. The time taken by the application to load a page, to process a transaction can be called transaction time, response time. This response time we have to measure under performance testing. Performance, very simple word, speed. How speedily the system is loading. How speedily the system is responding need to be measured. And always we measure the performance under various load conditions. We never measure the performance for 1 user or 10 users. See, only 1% trying to log in, only 10 people trying to log in, server need to process about 10 requests. Any server will quickly respond. When the load increase, then only you will observe the delay in the response time. So always we need to measure the transaction time or response time under various load conditions. I repeat, majorly in performance testing, we are going to measure the time taken by the application to process a business request. The time taken by the application to process a request is called technically response time, also called transaction time, also called processing speed. How speedily the system responding need to be measured. Always we measure the response time, we measure the speed of the application under various load conditions, meaning performance testing, load testing, both are interconnected. Take it. Measuring the time taken by the application, measuring the time taken by the application to process a business request, the time taken by the application to process a business request to process a transaction, nothing but business request, is called performance testing. The time taken by the application to process a request is called performance testing. Continuation. In performance testing, we have to analyze the page load time. We have to analyze the page load time and transaction time, page load time and transaction time. I hope I no need to explain about the words page load time. What do you mean by page load time? We enter some URL and click go button. So generally you tell me what happens when you enter the URL and click go button. We are entering google.com and click go button, amazon.com and click go button. Internally what is happening? It's loading, okay. Internally what happens actually? See, any web application, the architecture will be like this. Any web application or mobile application follow minimum 3-tier architecture. Let's say this is your database server of the project. Your application data maintained in a dedicated server called database server. Say your application made using .NET or Java or PHP or Python, the Java code or the Python code, whatever the technology code. The code maintained in a server called, what is this called? Web server, application server. Application server, where your application code will be maintained. Database server, where the database of your project will be maintained. And let's say these are the user missions. Here the end user typing google.com and press enter. Definitely through internet connection, your client send a request to the application server first. A request sent by the client to the application server. At application server, the application code, Java code or Python code is available. These Java code or Python code translated into HTML format. The Java code or Python code translated into HTML format, then respond back to the client mission. This time is nothing but page load time. Java code or Python code is translated into HTML format. The HTML code displayed in the client side. Supposing now again I entered a username, password and click submit button. The username and password what you have entered first posted to the application server. Application server will verify that username and password available in the database or not. If available in the database, respond back to the client mission, appropriate page will be displayed. Not available in the application, the Java code respond an error message to the client mission. Finally, this time taken by the application, the time taken by the application to process a request is called page load time, transaction time. This time we have to measure. If really an application responding within 8 seconds, acceptable performance nowadays. Earlier it is about 20 seconds. Today we have good internet connections and all. So 8 seconds is acceptable response time. Really your application responding within 4 seconds, will say excellent, very good performance. Above 8 seconds will be considered as a performance issue. Really a transaction taking above 8 seconds to process a request, we consider it as a performance issue. This we have to measure. If you observe there is a delay in the response time, you need to communicate to the developers. Login transaction taking about 10 seconds for 1,000 users. Login transaction taking about 15 seconds for 10,000 users, which is not acceptable. We communicate to the developers. Developers will identify the bottlenecks of the performance where the delay is happening, then they troubleshoot the issue. Here as a tester, our job is finding the time below 8 seconds, okay, above 8 seconds, we have to communicate to the development team. Maybe by increasing the server resources, they may reduce the delay in the application transaction time. So measuring the time taken by the application to process a business request, It's nothing but response time, nothing but transaction time is called performance testing. And remember, always we measure the performance of the system under various load conditions. So load testing, performance testing, both are interconnected. Make a small note about it. We measure the performance of the system. We measure the performance of the application under various load conditions. We measure the performance of the application under various load conditions. That is, for example, we measure how much amount of time application taking to respond, how much amount of time application taking to respond for 1,000 users, 10,000 users, 20,000 users, etc. We measure how much amount of time application taking to respond for 1,000 users, 10,000 users, 20,000 users, etc. That is continuation. That is performance testing, load testing, both are interconnected. Performance testing, load testing, both are interconnected. Clear about this, right? Take the next one. Recovery testing. Guess and answer me, what is recovery testing? Yes, any online team member? What is recovery testing? The lost data we are able to recover from the system or not. See, many times we forget our password in many applications. There will be a link, forget password. Why that option given? If that option not available in the product, say, I already have an account in Amazon.com, but I forgot the password. I went to the application Amazon. There is no link available in the page to recover my forgotten password. I cannot continue, right? When I try to create another account, it is saying your account is already exists. Account I already created 3 months back, but I forgot the password. But there is no option visible to me to recover the password. Why all this headache? I'll go to other website. Finally, the company losing some business because of the forget password option was not given. So as a tester, we need to verify. Definitely users may forget their password. In our application, there is a provision given to recover the lost password or not. Similarly, today completely we are relying on the computer applications. Consider ICICI Bank business. Millions of transactions are happening across the world. It's an international bank. In every town, they have a branch, correct? Are they maintaining any accounting system parallelly, manually? The amount you are depositing, the amount you are withdrawing, some transactions are happening. Are they maintaining parallelly any manual accounting system? No. Completely they are relying on computer application, correct? Fully computerized, fully automated branches, business. All the transactions happens in different branches, getting recorded in a server. There is a chance server may crash, fire accident, flood, some other issue. It is an electronic device. We may not able to, it's not responding. Hard disk was repaired. If there is no option to recover the lost data, it's a question mark continuing the business, correct? Because we cannot track what are the amounts or what are the transactions related to the customer because everything was lost. Definitely they maintain a recovery mechanism. What kind of recovery mechanism actually these kind of people will maintain? They maintain one server at Singapore location. They maintain one server at US location. They maintain some server at another location. The parallelly imaging will be maintained. One transaction going to multiple servers. For any reason, some damage is happened at one location, matter of half an hour, they connect to other server, same data is available, they will recover and continue further. What kind of recovery mechanism implemented in our website to recover the lost data? In our website, in our application, what kind of recovery mechanism is implemented and whether it is working properly or not need to be verified. Such approach is called recovery testing. Say, let us assume we are working on IRCTC project. Think like an end user. End user login, browse the train schedules, selected a train, enter all the family member details, given the credit card details also, click submit button. Browser showing a message, your ticket booking is happening. Do not refresh, do not click back button. End user watching the screen. Suddenly, internet connection may lost, system restarted, power gone, browser not responding, browser suddenly closed. You ever face this kind of situation in any other application? You ever face this kind of application? No, you faced at least in any one scenario or not? In what application, sir?
Yes, sir, in 19 application.
If really this is happened, what is the expected from the end user? Say we are testing a train booking application like IRCTC. During the train booking process, internet connection may go, power may lose, system restarted, system hang, browser not responding at all. What kind of recovery mechanism is expected to notify the user your ticket is booked or your transaction cancelled, try again? If the server able to shoot a message to the registered mobile number, first priority. If the server able to send an email to the registered email ID of the user explaining your ticket is booked, this is your PNR number, or your transaction cancelled, try again. So that the end user is notified, okay, no worries, my ticket was booked. No, my ticket was not booked, I have to rebook again. So definitely these kind of situations will happen. As a tester, think like an end user and check what kind of recovery mechanism implemented in your application to handle this kind of unpredictable situations. Such approach is called recovery testing. The end user able to recover the lost data or not, recover the forgotten password or not. And the end users or we are able to recover the lost data from the existing backups or not. Finally, what kind of recovery mechanism is required, whether it is implemented and working properly or not need to be verified. It comes under recovery testing. Take it, recovery testing. Checking does the application can handle unpredictable situations like power failure, system crash, and lost data or not. That the system can handle unexpected, unpredictable situations like power failure, system crash, browser crash, and lost data or not, is called recovery testing. So what kind of recovery mechanism implemented in your application to recover the lost data to be verified? This approach is called recovery testing. Take the next one, globalization testing. Globalization testing. See, we made an application or we involved in testing one application which is made for global users. Global users meaning across the world. See, Microsoft made operating system Windows only for Indian people. Chinese are buying and using the product Windows. Indians are using the Windows. Americans are using the Windows. Japanese also buying the same product from Microsoft and using it. As it is made for global users, worldwide users, different people will follow different languages, currencies, and date and time formats, correct? In our application, the user have a choice to configure different languages, currencies are not need to be verified. If it is really made for multiple locality of users, it comes under globalization testing. See here, Amazon. Amazon.com is a global product. We do shopping from this product. Americans are using it, Japanese are using it, Chinese are using it. Here we have the language option and also currency option, correct? If this option not available, the other people may not able to use this product. Agree? The user should have an option to configure the languages, configure the currencies according to their requirement. Whether this provision is implemented and working correctly or not need to be verified, it comes under globalization testing. Here see, as it is made for international users, language options available, currency options available. If not available, some people do not know English. Say Chinese do not know English. Japanese will not prefer English. If application made only in English language, not available in the other languages, definitely other people will not come to the website. As it is made for worldwide users, global users, definitely the application should have multiple language option, multiple currency option. Whether this is implemented and working correctly or not need to be verified, it comes under globalization testing. Is it required in IRCTC? Multiple language option, multiple currency option required in IRCTC?
No.
Because it is
No,
made for
no.
only
No, sir.
specific
Indian.
country of users. As IRCTC made for only Indians, Indian customers, correct? You do not require international languages. Maybe, if possible, for more usability, say, local languages can be implemented. Yes, I think IRCTC available in local languages? Available? Marathi, Hindi, Kannada, something like this? It's available in local language? I do not know.
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
But Facebook is available, right? Facebook is available, correct? Local languages also it is available. Right.
Yes, sir. Facebook available.
Yes, yes. Take it. Globalization testing. Checking. Does a user can able to configure? Does user can configure different languages currency as per their requirement? User can able to configure different languages, different currencies as per their requirement or not? comes under globalization testing. So user have a choice to configure different languages, currency, date and time format or not, comes under globalization testing. For other name for globalization testing, globalization testing, also called internationalization testing. Internationalization testing, globalization testing, both are same. This internationalization testing, shortly called I-89 testing. In some interviews will ask you, what is I-89 testing? Nothing but internationalization testing, globalization testing. Why the name I-89? There are 18 letters between I and N, shortly named as I-89 testing. There is no other technical reason for it. Make a note of it. Globalization testing, also called internationalization testing, shortly called as I-89 testing. Shortly called as I-89 testing. The same way we have localization testing. Take the next one. The localization testing. As I said, when a software made for a particular locality of users, like IRCTC, as per the local regional languages, the local currency implemented in the website are not need to be tested. So what is the expected language in IRCTC? We follow British English, right? We follow London English, not American English. Expected language should be British English if it is IRCTC. Expected currency should be Indian rupees. That we have to check. No need to have multiple languages, no need to have multiple currencies, because it is made for a particular locality of users. If a software made for multiple locality of users, user have an option to configure required language, required currency. This provision available or not need to be verified. It comes under globalization testing. Then a software made for a specific locality of users, according to that local languages, currency system made or not need to be verified. It comes under localization testing, shortly L10N testing. There are 10 letters between L and N in localization, like I-89. Take it. Checking the default language, currency for the applications designed for a specific locality of users, for the applications made for a specific locality of users, is called localization testing. So you are testing one website made for only Americans. Expected language should be American English, currency should be USD. When you are testing an application made for Indians, only Indians, expected language should be British English, currency should be Indian rupees. That we have to check. It is also called L10N testing. It is shortly called as L10N testing. It is shortly called as L10N testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 letters between L and N in localization, shortly called as L10N testing. Right. These are the various non-functional testing types. First, we need to check any project given to us, first focus goes to functional testing. After validating the functional requirement, you need to focus on non-functional requirement. Appearance-wise good or not, UI testing. Easily understandable, operatable by end customers or not, usability. All required security conditions are strongly built or not, security testing. Whether the application capable of handling multiple users at a given point of time or not, load testing. How speedily the pages are loading, performance testing. Does the application properly visible, properly working across different browsers, across different devices or not? Compatibility testing. Really, you are testing a project which is made for international users, global users. User have an option to change the language, change the currency. That provision available or not need to be tested, comes under internationalization testing. When a software made for a specific locality of users, as per the local regional settings, it is made or not need to be verified, it comes under localization testing. So these are the various functional and non-functional testing types. Recovery testing also. See here, once functional testing and non-functional testing done, to our knowledge everything is fine. What is the next step? Functionalities and non-functionalities are justified. What is the next step? We have to give the project to the client. Before we deliver the project to the client, if I am the senior person of the organization, I'll ask the business analyst who involved in collecting this requirement of this product, you confirm, then we release the product into the market. First you confirm, then we release the project to the client. Now the senior person, business analyst preferably, who involved in collecting the requirement, have a check, a development company environment will have a check whether it is ready to give it to the delivery to the customer or not. It is called first level of acceptance testing, called alpha testing. Then we deliver the project to the client. Before making the last payment, before giving a sign off, client will have a final check, the received application ready to go for live or not, called beta testing. This alpha and beta, alpha meaning first, beta meaning second. First level of acceptance testing is called alpha testing. Last level of acceptance testing is called beta testing. These two comes under user acceptance testing. What is user acceptance testing? Once the system testing is done, we deliver the project to the client. Client will have a final check, the received application ready to go for live production or not. It is called user acceptance testing. Say for example, I need a training institute management system. I given an order to small software company people. They made it, they tested it and said to me, sir, everything is fine. Before I make the last payment, I'll ask the software company people first to install the application at our site or in the cloud. Give me 4 days of time or 1 week of time. Now I ask my staff, use the application and give the feedback. If you face any difficulties while using the application, 1 week a trial run, a dry run. 1 week use the application as a trial. If you find any difficulty, I will ask my staff, you find any difficulty, you are facing any problem, let me know. So I'll communicate to the development company people, these are the problems still we are facing, rectify and take your payment. The process what I initiated is nothing but user acceptance testing. Hope you got the point right? Make a note. User acceptance testing. Will a tester involved here? Will a tester involved in user acceptance testing? No. Tester responsible for only functional and non-functional testing. User acceptance testing. Testing conducted by the end users to confirm or to build their confidence, whether the delivered application ready to go for live or not, whether the delivered application ready to go for live or not is called the delivered application ready to go for live or not is called user acceptance testing. A delivered application ready to go for live or not is called user acceptance testing. So remember, this UAT generally carried out at two levels. First level of acceptance testing carried out at development company premises by the BA. Last level of acceptance testing carried out by the end customer. Alpha testing, beta testing. First and second. Take it, continuation. Next paragraph. This UAT, user acceptance testing, UAT, user acceptance testing, carried out at two levels. At two levels. First one, alpha testing. Second one, beta testing. Alpha testing, beta testing. Take the first one, alpha testing. So what is alpha testing? Generally people also call A/B testing. One system testing is done. See, listen. My QA team confirm, say I'm the project manager, my QA team confirm for functionalities and non-functionalities, everything working as expected. System is ready to deploy or release. I'll ask my BA, you have the clarity on the user requirement. Like a user, you check and confirm it, then we release the product. Now, as per the project manager's Scrum Master instruction, the business analyst who has the clarity on the requirement in the development environment, before we ship the product to the client, before shipping the product to the client, our BA will have a final check and confirm, yes sir, everything is fine. Like a end user, our subject matter expert will have a check whether the application ready to release or not. That is called alpha testing. So you know, recently Microsoft released Windows 11. First alpha testing done, then beta version released into the market. Beta version given into the market to take the user feedback. Based on the user feedback, again they made some changes, original version will publish into the market. Similar kind of stuff it is. The first level of acceptance testing carried out at development company environment by our subject matter expert is called alpha testing. Last level of acceptance testing carried out by the market people, end users, client, to build their confidence application ready to go for live or not, which is called beta testing. Take it, alpha testing. It is the first level of acceptance testing. It is the first level of acceptance testing carried out. It is the first level of acceptance testing carried out at development company environment. At development company environment. It is the first level of acceptance testing carried out at development company environment. Next one, beta testing. It is the last level of acceptance testing. It is the last level of acceptance testing carried out by end users. It is the last level of acceptance testing carried out by end users. So finally, to build the confidence, whether the given application ready to go for live or not, end user will have a check, then give the sign off of the project. These system testing, functional testing and non-functional testing, user acceptance testing are collectively called black box testing. In the black box testing, our job is doing system testing, end user job, subject matter expert job, performing user acceptance testing. Here we are responsible for doing system testing. Okay, better take the definition for what is black box testing. Take it. Black box testing. Actually, in the diagram I have given, but I was not given the only one sentence of definition, correct? Take it. What is black box testing? You answer me now. Testing conducted on the application. Listen, not on the code level. Testing conducted on the application by whom? By testers, also by domain experts, end users. System testing we are doing. User acceptance testing, end user is doing. Testing conducted on the application by the testers, by the end users, to make sure whether the developed application working as per the business expectations or not is called black box testing. Testing conducted on the code by developer to ensure developed code is ensuring 100% coverage or not is called white box testing. Testing conducted on the finished developed application by the QA team, by the subject matter expert to make sure whether it is meeting the client expectations or not, market requirements or not is called black box testing. Take it. Testing conducted on the application, testing conducted on the application by the testers also by the end users, to check whether it is meeting the business requirements or not, whether it is meeting the business requirements or not is called black box testing. Right. See, while explaining, I'll explain 2 sessions about DB testing. That time I'll give the notes about gray box testing. White box testing and black box testing together called gray box testing. Database testing is the best example for gray box testing. I will have a definition. That time we'll talk about DB testing. Take it. Gray box testing. Gray box testing. Gray box testing. What is gray box testing?
Combination of black box and white box testing.
Correct, madam. White box testing and black box testing are collectively called gray box testing. Database testing is the best example for gray box testing. We'll talk about what is database testing. Take it. Gray box testing. White box testing and black box testing. White box testing and black box testing are collectively called gray box testing. or collectively called gray box testing. Continuation. Database testing is the best example for gray box testing. Database testing is the best example for gray box testing. I'll give a small example, further we'll continue. Consider this banking project. I'm asked to verify the new branch creation functionality working or not. I click new branch, input some details. All this is called sample data or test data. And I click submit button. Here I am testing the new branch creation functionality working properly or not. I received a message here, the new branch created 321 successfully. What is your decision here? Functionality working or not working? I enter the details and click submit. System notifying new branch created successfully. As a tester, what is your decision? Functionality working or not working?
Working.
Working.
It is working.
How you decided it is working? On what basis you are saying it is working? By seeing this message?
On the basis of message,
This is
yes.
branch ID.
No, as of now, you said it is working, right? On what basis you said it is working? Because it is showing a message, new branch created successfully, correct? Remember,
Successfully. Yes.
any message, any notification you get in the application is not a confirmation from the database. Finally, what is expected? The new branch, what we have registered, data must be stored in the database or not? Correct? Whatever the details we have entered must be properly stored in the database. This message is not a confirmation, really the data is updated in the database. This message is a programming technique. Programmer showing a notification for the end user understanding sake. So the data may stored or may not stored, I do not know as of now. Don't stop testing by seeing this kind of messages. We have to go to the backend database, check really the data what I have entered is properly updated in the backend or not. So like a end user, you no need to verify, because end user we are using a tested application. We are testers. No guarantee the data what we have entered properly updated in the database. We have to test it. Whatever the messages you see in the application, all are programming techniques, not a confirmation from the backend. So did you inserted at least 1 or 2 records in any database application in your previous education? Any of you, did you inserted at least 1 sample record in any database application like Oracle or MySQL or SQL Server? No? Any online team member? No, definitely. If you have computer background,
No, sir.
no? No idea about database.
Inserted, sir. Inserted.
Insert into table name values. We receive a message, 1 row inserted, 1 row affected. No database will pop up a notification that employee created, employee updated, employee deleted. Let's see this. Once again, I repeat, the point what I'm highlighting, this notification is not a database confirmation. No database will pop up a message saying that branch created successfully, employee created successfully, something like this. Let us check out this. I open some notepad. The new branch created successfully. Just a message box statement. Message box or alert, new branch created successfully. Only one statement. I save my code in my desktop with a name, say demo.vbs, VB script. This is the code I have created. I'm running this code. I'm running this program. See the output? New branch created successfully. Any branch created now? Is any branch created now?
No.
No.
So what is
sir.
your understanding now? Whatever the notifications, whatever the alerts you see in the applications, all are this kind of programming techniques. For the end user understanding sake, developer displaying some messages. So, Anusha, mute yourself. The end user displaying some messages like this. Sorry. For end user understanding sake, programmer generating this kind of pop-ups. So this is not guarantee really the data stored in the backend. Previous I created one branch. Application showing this kind of message. This message is a programming alert. No guarantee the data what I have entered properly updated in the backend. As a tester, I will now stop testing by seeing this message. I'll go to database and verify really the data what I have entered properly updating in the backend database or not. How? I'm connecting to database of the Primus Bank application. I'm connecting to database server of our Primus Bank project. primusbank.kubertech.com. This is my server location where the database was deployed. I give my username, I give my password to connect to the database server. Sorry, actually the database nothing available in my machine. I'm connecting to server available in the cloud, primusbank.kubertech.com server with my login credentials. For testing purpose, definitely testing team will be given some login credentials to connect to the database if really you involved in DB testing. Remember, every tester will not involve in DB testing. If the tester has some SQL knowledge, that would be better. It's not mandatory. Because fresher level, nobody will expect this knowledge. Experienced people, by the experienced people will get it. Okay, here. BankDB is my database where the Primus Bank application getting stored. I'm giving the database table name, bank branches, where branch ID equal to, I entered some branch ID. What is that? Sorry. System generated some branch ID. What is that? 321. Select star from bank branches where branch ID equal to 321. Okay. Now my user account do not have access. This is a branch I created, correct? Now this is a 100% confirmation branch successfully registered in the database. You please observe here, to verify a functionality new branch creation, at first I interacted with the application. Application level testing, black box. I do not know what is the code inside of this. In order to confirm the branch created successfully or not, I am accessing one of the code component database. Database also a code component or not? By writing some code, I am confirming it. By writing some SQL code, I am confirming it. Some operations I am doing at application level. I do not know what is the code inside this application. And I am confirming at code level, database level. Database also one of the code component. Code, application. Mixture of application and code level. Such kind of testing approach is called gray box testing. We do not know what is the code inside this application. But in order to confirm the branch created successfully or not, I am writing some SQL code and I am testing it. This kind of mixture approach, combination of application level, code level, application level testing, code level testing combination, combining and doing testing called gray box testing. Why the name gray box? We cannot see what is the code inside this application. Nothing is visible. But we are writing the code visible and performing the operation. Database is visible. This also one of the code component, right? This also one of the code component or not? Database. The database is visible, but code inside the application is invisible. Partially visible, partially invisible, hence it is called gray box testing. So DB testing is the best example for gray box testing. I'll take a separate class on DB testing. The basic SQL knowledge I will provide, select statement knowledge minimum, so that instead of saying I do not know anything about database, to say I know little about database, whatever required for testing, I'm going to execute 2 sessions on DB testing, where I teach you about select statement in detail, not just select star from table name. There are many options with the select statement. All options we'll learn. For every batch, I'll take this SQL workshop. All these commands we'll learn. These are various SQL commands. Right. So altogether, this is our first module, software testing concepts, fundamental part. Got it? Just let us have a small revision on what we have learned these many days. Then we jump into the second module, which is practical approach to testing SDLC. As of now, we have learned only this software testing concepts module. These are the things to be learned. In the software testing concept, this is the first module we have learned. These are the remaining modules we have to learn down the line. In this first module, the chapter 1, just I created some awareness on software testing. What is testing? What to test? Why software applications will have defects? What is a defect? What is a error? Why do software applications will have bugs? Cost of fixing the bug, early testing, importance of doing early testing, verification, validation, what testers will do in the company, positive testing, negative testing, kind of some fundamentals we learned in the first chapter, software testing introduction. Then we entered into second chapter, development lifecycle, SDLC, waterfall model, V model, agile model I discussed in brief, because see here, separately we have again agile model. After learning manual testing, again I'll teach you Agile model in deep here. All these topics we have to discuss in Agile. Then verification, validation. What is a review? What is a walkthrough? What are the different types of reviews we have discussed? White box testing, that is unit testing and integration testing. Black box testing, nothing but system testing and user acceptance testing. This system testing is majorly of two types, functional testing and non-functional testing. Here we have discussed about functional testing types. Then we have discussed about the non-functional testing types. And also little about user acceptance testing, that is alpha testing and beta testing. So all this first module just to create some awareness on software testing foundation, software testing fundamentals. So here we have to continue. This is actual manual testing, practical approach to manual testing. Software testing life cycle. Take the topic, software testing life cycle. Software testing life cycle. So what is the meaning of generally a life cycle? From beginning to end. Once some work is initiated, listen. Once some work is initiated, from the beginning till the end, totally what are the activities involved? If you explain, it's nothing but the life cycle. Human life cycle means from birth to death. Development life cycle means from requirements collection till the delivery of the product. But here we are focusing on software testing life cycle, our job, our work, that is called testing life cycle. Precisely, let me explain in this way. When we talk about software development process, development life cycle, what is the first job?
Requirements
Domain
collection.
experts involved in collecting requirements. Document the requirements. On the planning work, plan the work, allocate the work to the team members, developers and testers. Prepare some technical documentation, project architecture, use cases, etc. Then programmers implement the code, develop the product. What is the next one? When the product is developed,
Testing.
the product will be given to testing. A company hiring you, to do this testing work, correct? We are not involved in requirement phase. We are not involved in design phase. In fact, a tester will not involve in the coding phase. What are the various activities carried out here? At first, we need to understand the requirements of the product, correct? Then we have to prepare test scenarios. We have to prepare test cases. We have to execute the
Test cases.
Like this, there are some activities carried out. In order to effectively testing a project, some activities are carried out here. All these activities are collectively called software testing process, also called software testing life cycle. This is our job, tester job. From here, we are focusing on our job. First, manually how to do testing, then automation. Understand the point? These many days, whatever we have learned is a conceptual clarity. From here, fully we are focusing on practical approach to manual testing and automation testing of a product. Clear about this? Right. So what is this STLC? STLC stands for Software Testing Life Cycle.
Life cycle.
Yes. In any company, Let's say we involved in testing a big project. We involved in testing one big project. A project will have a number of requirements, a number of modules. First, your manager, QA manager, test manager, project manager, team lead, sit together and discuss what is the time available for this project testing. Because already your management given a commitment to the client. By end of this April, we are delivering the product to you. What is the budget involved? How many people available? Based on that, they'll come out with a plan and approach how to carry out testing on this current project. Next 15 days, we focus on this. In the second phase, we focus on this. Last phase, we focus on this. Say, first we test admin module. In this month, first month, we test admin module. Second month, we test banker module. Next month, we test customer module. Last month, we do non-functional testing, deliver the product to the client. 4 phases totally. How many people required? What kind of skill set required? What kind of tools and infrastructure required? Your manager plan the work, allocate the work to the team members. The first job of testing any project in software testing life cycle, plan the work. It is called technically, what is that? Test planning. The project manager, the QA manager, QA lead or team lead will prepare how to carry out testing on the current project. They prepare a document called test plan that explains how to perform testing on the current project. Sir, every work need to have a plan and approach or not? Blindly we don't do some job. This is how we have to carry out testing on the current project will be documented. It's called test plan. This plan explained to the team members. First we do this, then we do this, then we do this. Here we focus more, here we focus less. This we do manually, this we do with the support of the tool Selenium. A work plan made by the team lead or manager that explain how to carry out testing on the current project is called test plan. Manager will plan the work, explain the work to the team members, explain the plan to the team members. Once it is done, say work allotted to the team members. You test admin module, you test banker module, you test customer module. Let's say work is allotted like this. What is the module given to you? Admin module. What is the module given to you? Customer module. If you want to test some requirements, first you need to study the requirements or not. You do not have the idea about admin module. Will you be able to plan what to test and how to test? No. So, the next activity is called test analysis. Simply studying the requirement documents. Also, some KTs will be organized. The testers analyze the requirement document. Senior people will give the KT about the product domain to the team members. This is how generally we understand the requirements. Once it is done, the next work is test design. The testers, after understanding the requirement, with the help of the KTs, we gain the knowledge about the product. Say, you understand customer module of the project. You understand admin module of the project. What is your next job? Assumption, now you have the clarity on admin module requirement. You have the clarity on customer module requirement. What is the next job? We need to document. You need to document what to test in admin module. You need to document what to test in banker module. You need to document what to test in customer module based on the work allocated. Technically, what it is called? Perfect. First, here we prepare. What we prepare? Test scenarios. Then we have to prepare
Test cases.
test cases and test data. Test data is a part of a test case document. At first, we need to document what to test, scenario. Then you need to document how to test each and every functionality called test cases. You need to plan and prepare some sample data for testing. This is called test data. Test cases, then test data. When the project is given to you, one second. Simultaneously, we prepare one document called RTM. We'll talk about that. Requirement traceability matrix. Every business requirement mapped to link it to appropriate scenarios and appropriate test cases for ease of traceability. So at any point of time, we should be able to determine what are the test cases belongs to money transfer. What are the test cases belongs to online payment. Let's say we have created 400 test cases for a big banking project. Today you ask you to run the test cases for money transfer. Today you ask you to run the test cases for online bills payment. You have access to the database where there are 400 test cases. What is the work given to you? Money transfer test cases you have to run. You are seeing 400 test cases. You do not know out of 400 what are the test cases belongs to money transfer. At any point of time, we should be able to identify what are the test cases belongs to requirement 1, what are the test cases belongs to requirement 2. After writing test cases, we map the test cases to corresponding requirement in a consolidated report called requirement-wise tracing corresponding work artifacts, requirement traceability document. It looks like a matrix format. We call it as requirement traceability matrix. We'll discuss about this. Just I'm explaining all in brief. From tomorrow we go one by one in deep. Then, what is the next job? Finally, you have prepared the test cases, submitted to your team lead, who reviewed and confirmed if these test cases are enough for testing the product. Now the next work is test execution. The QA team, testers, will execute the test cases on the given product. First build is given. We do smoke testing, system in a testable condition. Let's say 100 test cases are already prepared for validating various features. We start executing all 100 features one by one. If any defects identified, we have to record the defects. Record meaning document the defects and report to the developer. Developer create a modified version after resolving the bugs. Developer fix the bug, create the modified version. The modified version will be given to you back. What do we have to do here? We have to do
Retesting.
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 Regression testing.
Regression testing.
testing.
This process will continue until all bugs are closed, until all test cases are satisfied, pass. All test cases pass, system meeting the requirements. All identified bugs are closed. There is nothing to do. You communicate to your team lead. Team lead will perform an end-to-end test and make a decision, stop testing and deliver the product to the client. You will not make a decision. Again, the project manager, the QA manager, team lead, they refer the requirement, they refer the test case document, whether all test cases pass or not. They refer the bug reports, whether all the defects are closed or not. They make a decision, stop testing. The last activity is called test closure, where we stop testing, deliver the product to the client. When the client perform acceptance testing, client accepted, project enters into maintenance phase. What is maintenance? After 2 months or 3 months, client wanted some new requirement. Again, the same cycle will repeat. Studying the new requirement, writing test cases for new requirement. On the other side, developers are implementing the new requirement, modified version given, again testing. So precisely these are the major activities involved in software testing process. Planning, management job. Making a decision whether to stop testing or not, again your manager job. What is our job? Understanding the requirement, writing scenarios, writing test cases, executing test cases, finding the bugs, reporting the bugs. Once you get the modified version, retesting and regression testing. This is the QA team member job. Manager jobs are different. So precisely all these activities called software testing process or software testing life cycle. So note down this. From tomorrow we'll start from the test planning. Briefly understood, right? From tomorrow, each and every topic we go in deep. Next 2 weeks, we are going to discuss about this chapter. Next 2 weeks, we are going to learn this because Here, you have to write scenarios. You have to write test cases, not me, correct? I know how to write scenarios. I know how to write test cases. The training objective is I have to make you to write scenarios and test cases. So next to 2 weeks, we are going to learn about this STLC, complete a practical approach to manual testing. Here, I'll teach you some basics. I'll allocate the work to you on one project. Here itself, we have to do the work. Okay? Online team, from tomorrow onwards, try to connect with the laptops. And you have a provision, come with the laptops. If you don't have a provision, after the class, lab available. Got it? Right. And lab coordinators also available for both online and offline. Praveen,
Sir,
you send lab Zoom support ID to all of the students.
okay, sir, sure, sir.
You sent already?
I will send it.
Right. See, we are giving all online students and you also. You receive one more email, Zoom support ID. What is the Zoom support ID? At any point of time from here, while practicing at your home, anywhere, because online people are not coming to institute, right? While you are practicing, if you have any question, no need to wait for next day. Immediately connect to the Zoom ID. They will be supporting people. They will assist you to continue further. Got it? Kind of a lab support. Understand the point here? For you, you are available. The physical lab available. People are available. For online team, majorly, you receive another Zoom ID, not this current meeting ID, another Zoom ID. From morning 9 till evening 8, people are available. They support you in practicing either manual testing or automation or Java, whatever. Clear about it. Anytime from 9 to 8, they are available. I think majorly you need such support while practicing Java and Selenium only. This manual testing easily you can understand. So in manual testing, there is no coding. In a simple English, we are documenting in an Excel file what to test, how to test. When you find a bug in an understandable manner, in a simple English, you are documenting the bug, reporting to developer. No code will come into the picture in manual testing. No programming come into the picture in manual testing. For this reason, people will say, testing do not require technical and coding skill. Yes, manual testing do not require any coding skill, but automation testing needs. We'll talk, don't worry about it. So you take this and we log off here today and we continue tomorrow